Welcome to Subnautica. Last played this game a couple of years ago, so it's been a while, and it's now coming out of early access. It's about to ready to go for live release. They've pretty much finished all the features they want to get to, at least with this planet. They've got some upcoming stuff about, I think, an ice planet or something along those lines, but let's get started, and I'm going to shut up while the intro plays, and then we'll come back once we've got through the intro. So let me just start it up, and hopefully you'll see what's going on. We're going to go for survival and not hardcore, because I need to be able to record videos without restarting every time I die.
Attention. Hull failure imminent. All personnel abandon ship. Launch in 3, 2, 1.
So we've escaped from our main ship and been knocked out by a tray. So we've got a bit of a fire to deal with to start off with, so let's get rid of this fire before it consumes all the oxygen in here. So let's just grab the fire extinguisher, right click, and we can put the fire out. Most of the fire out. You all out? You are, good. Okay. You're going to give us a demonstration of our PDA? Yes, you are. Never understood why people find a fascination about transparent PDAs. Seems like an awful idea for a user interface, but hey, that's just me.
You have suffered minor head trauma. This is considered an optimal outcome.
Great.
PDA has now rebooted in emergency mode with one directive: to keep you alive on an alien world. Please refer to the databank for detailed survival advice. Good luck.
Okay, so we can tab to bring up the PDA. There is a voice log, which we've just heard play. And we can stow this fire extinguisher in this little pod. We just right click to switch the containers, that's fine. And I don't think I need those initially, so we can put that away. We've got 5 active slots in our hotbar, and we have a few items in here. So for one of the first items you probably want to pick up is this. And the reason is mainly that it's going to regenerate, you can see. So you want to take it as soon as possible so it can regenerate soon. And of course we have it in our inventory. What we're also going to need is the fabricator. But at the moment we don't have anything we don't have any ingredients. So we're going to have to go and get us some of those. The other systems are damaged. We need a repair tool for those, and we don't have any of those. So the first thing we're going to do is just pop upstairs and take a look at where we landed. So there's what's left of our ship. And we now have flying creatures. We never used to have those a couple of years ago, so maybe there's more that's changed.
Orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
Okay, so if we can pop back down into the escape pod, we can also go down. We don't have to go up and jump out, so we can pop down. And of course, this is the main area that you're going to be exploring in Subnautica. It's beautiful. It's pretty amazing overall. Of course, you have the problem with oxygen. You can see the oxygen indicator at the bottom left. 45 is not a great amount. That will be used up really quite quickly. So one of our first sort of things we need to do is go and gather some resources. And it's going to say, break this limestone. Okay. And we've got some titanium in our inventory. We can pick up that wreckage that we can use in the fabricator. That will give us some other resources. I think that's also titanium. Is the tutorial going to point at any other resources out to us? Probably not, to be honest. One of the main things to make fairly quickly though is a knife, and that will let us gather resources much more easily. Let me just grab quartz. That's a new model. It looks quite nice. And the same thing here. Let's just pick up some copper.
Essential component of all powered equipment. Your probability of survival has just decreased to unlikely, but plausible.
Okay, just by getting copper. Not food, copper. Yep, that's this game. Okay, so if we pop into the fabricator, we can now make some resources. We can get some 4 titanium from that metal salvage. And that should let us make some other equipment. So let's just see. An O2 tank, so we can dive further. Don't need a fire extinguisher or a pipe or a floating air pump. Can I make a waterproof locker? No, I'm not going to need that. What do I need to make a knife? I need rubber. So if we have a look in the resources, in basic rubber, we need creep vine seed clusters, and I know exactly where those are. Okay, so before we get there, let me actually just make an O2 tank. Because titanium's easy to get. We can just get it from any of that salvage. And as you can see, my amount of O2 has just jumped up to 75. We've got a O2 tank here. You can store extra ones in your inventory as well, if I remember correctly. Let me just put away these bits and pieces of stuff. My food is about halfway, so I should probably eat one of these nutrient blocks. Oh, that is 75 and I've got 40. Never mind. Let's pop back down. And now we need to go and grab something to make silicone rubber from. Now, what you want to look for is this kind of kelp-like forest. Ooh, and there's a wreck over there. So maybe we should explore in that direction. Wrecks have blueprints near them usually, so more recipes if you like. And they used to be scattered all over the floor, but I assume now that's been changed to have them inside the wreck itself. We may not be able to open it without a cutting tool, which we won't have yet though. So I guess back to the kelp forest and just avoid geysers like that. That's superheated water. So I'm going to go to the kelp forest. The downside to this is that it's inhabited by these sort of stalker creatures, the like shark crocodile kind of like things, and they really don't like it when you get close to their stuff. With a knife, I can sort of defend myself against them, but without that, not so much. So I've just got to be kind of careful, and we're going to grab some of these little yellow things, if they're like bulbs. Creep vine. I'm just going to grab 4 of them. Yep, new blueprint acquired, and then we're going to head back to our little escape pod. Alright, back in the escape pod, we can then just resource, well, we can use lubricant, but we want silicone rubber to start with. And then we can make fins that'll make us move faster. So I can make 2 lots of that silicone rubber. Yeah, I think I can, because I've got 4 of the actual silicone, well, whatever they're called. Creep vine seed clusters. Okay, still got a couple left, but that's okay. I just want to make sure I grab a couple of, whoops, not the fire extinguisher, no, another titanium, and we can make a knife, hopefully. And knives do wear out, so don't expect them to be infinite, but there we go.
Were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
Okay, so the knife is useful. It will let us do lots of things. Mainly, it lets us grab those clusters of ores quicker. It also lets us defend ourselves and then do, you know, various other things about gathering resources. So, we probably want to look at some other stuff as well. I'm going to make myself some fins, unless I don't already have any. So the fins will help me move faster.
The fabricator draws from available data to provide environment-appropriate equipment using locally available materials. For your safety, this setting cannot be overridden.
Okay, so what else do we actually need? Well, scanner will be very useful. We need batteries for that. So in batteries are in electronics. A battery needs acid mushrooms and copper ore. So let's go and see if we can find some acid mushrooms. These will hurt you a little bit, but they're quite common all the way around where you crash. Let's pop down and just grab a couple of these. One, just don't slash them with a knife, otherwise they sort of, well, they release acid, surprisingly, for an acid mushroom. Or at least they used to. Okay, so let's pop upstairs. And I think I've got that 1 copper, so we've got enough to make 1 battery. Copper? Yep. So, 1 battery, please. And then we can have a look for a scanner. What do you take? Tools, scanner. Okay, so the scanner will let us gather those blueprints once we're able to get to them.
And to record alien biological data.
Yeah, so we can also scan fish, basically, is what it's also saying. Okay, and then I guess we've got a choice between lubricant and silicone rubber for the rest. Do be aware, however, that the stuff you gather like this, depending on what it is, it tends to rot. So do use it rather than just keeping it stored. Some things don't, some things do. One of the first things we want to build is a Seaglide. That's something we need to aim towards. It's basically like, well, you've probably seen the scuba divers. They have like a sort of like a fan unit with a battery they can use to pull themselves along faster. That's exactly what a Seaglide is, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I don't think it's the mini sub. I can never remember the names. Mobile vehicle bay will let us build a mini sub. Lockers are just useful for storing stuff. So let's see, what else do we need? Yeah, well, we don't have access to silver anytime soon. First aid kits we're not going to need. Repair tool will be useful, but we need sulfur for that. Assuming that is the dangerous thing that we need to get. I'll go and show you that in a second. Flashlight I'm not too concerned about. Habitat builder we certainly will need at some point. That's going to need another battery, some computer chips, some wiring kits, and they're all found in here. So power cells are just a large battery. Computer chip requires coral, gold and copper wire, and a wiring kit requires silver. So we need gold and silver to be able to do anything along those lines. Alright, self-scan. Okay, I can scan myself.
Self-scan complete. Vital signs normal. Continuing to monitor.
Okay, so let's just turn the rest of these into silicone rubber, shall we? And maybe a lubricant as well.
Essential in construction of vehicles and power plants.
Okay, so we've converted all the raw resources into non-raw, into sort of refined, so we can put those away. And acid mushrooms, I'm not sure if they convert on or they rot or not, so I'll put them away for now. As you can see, we don't really get all that much storage in our escape pod, so I need to go and look for other resources. So we can see our blueprints tab, we can see what we can already make. And you can browse that in here. These items require us to get blueprints, so we're going to have to go and find those. And there's not really much else at the moment I can do until I find some more resources. So it is nighttime, so I'm going to just pop down and you can see what it's like at night. As you can see, quite dark, but still okay. At least we can see things closer up to us. I'm going to go and see if I can find some more resources for us to use. In particular, we're definitely going to need table coral, so I think this might be it. We can't pick it up with the left click, but we can slash it. And that'll let us pick it up. Of course, that'll use some durability on the knife, but otherwise we'll be fine. And I'm not going to pick up too much of it just because it tends to, well, fill up our inventory space. We don't have much extra inventory space without building lockers. We can pick up fish. Once they're close enough to us. But we're not going to do that just yet. I just want to have a look around and see if there's any... I'm looking for a pod that spits stuff at you, and it tends to be a bit lethal. So I'm going to have a look for one. I'll come back once I've found one. And just while I was thinking about it, we should also look at food. So we can just grab a fish or two if we get close enough to them. Ah! Trying to grab them is actually the hardest part of this. They're not always easy to grab, and you end up chasing them for a while. Trust me, I can catch these things by swimming after them. Yes, that's how we fish in Subnautica. Oh, come on. I know I can get... There we go. A peeper. So we can take that back to our escape pod. And you can leave it raw, but then it will rot. So you're going to want to cook it using food. Cooked food and cured food. Cured will just keep it for later. Cooked, you're going to need to eat it right away, but it's going to be more nutritious. So we can consume that. You can see my food gauge increased on the bottom left. It will also affect your water gauge as well. Vital signs stabilizing basically just means I need to catch some more fish, and of course as sun is coming up, and it's pretty beautiful game on the whole. Definitely something that's worthwhile playing if you like exploration games. So yeah, there are different fish that you can catch. Some have a benefit other than just the food. In particular, what I was looking for is a bloater, which is kind of like a puffed up fish that doesn't really move all that fast. It can actually do more for the water than your food gauge. So having a few of those around would be pretty good. Assuming they haven't removed bloaters from the game, it's entirely possible they've moved them as well. So yeah, I'm going to keep looking. So you can see when I'm near this wreck that we can actually scan things that are around. A swivel chair, not that I particularly need swivel chairs, but I guess we can actually scan for that. So we can get the blueprint for that, and we can scan anything that's natural as well that it sticks out of. So can we have a look? Is there anything else around this wreck that we can get into without having to cut through a door? Are you locked? Oh, no, you're not locked. Okay, so before I go in there, I'm just going to go and get some more O2, some nice fresh air. And then down we go. Okay, so hopefully there's something useful in here. Probably not. It's probably just going to be a table or something along those lines. Ooh, grab trap fragment. Okay, let's scan you. That's 1 out of 2. A desk. Not sure I'm going to need the desk, to be honest. You're locked or otherwise occupied, so let's just have a look. Alright, so we can make a desk, but we can also pick up this PDA. We can open the supply crate, we get an extra first aid kit, and not much else in here. I don't think, anyway, not till we have some kind of way of cutting this. Maybe something scannable. Oh no, the engine pods do look very, very similar to that for the big submarine. I was thinking it would be quite odd to find that near this starting wreck, but fine otherwise. Okay, so the hunt continues. And another quick note while you're exploring, don't head towards the Aurora, at least not to start with. There's radiation near it, and there's lots of creatures over there as well that are very, very nasty. Don't try and take them on. You will have a very, very bad day if you do. Oh, and we have the knife. We can break this and grab things really quite quickly. So yeah, don't head towards the Aurora. You can head any other direction, really, just to explore. Just a bit of a tip. So here's the other kind of outcrop that we need, sandstone. And we've got silver and gold. And I've also made an extra O2 tank. So once we run nearly out of this one, we can then use the other one to... Ooh, is that something we can scan for? Laser cutter. Yeah, I think we will. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining. That's okay. We've got a second tank. And is there anything in any of these, I wonder? Seaglide fragment. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, 12 seconds remaining. Let's swap the items. And we've got some oxygen remaining. So we can head up to the surface. Do remember, however, when you do this, just another tip, don't just head back down again thinking it's going to fill up both your tanks. You do have to swap them back again, and then it will fill up your tanks. Don't just, head back up to the surface and down to the bottom floor and think you've got everything sorted. You don't. And I think we've got everything we need for the grav trap there. Okay. A counter. Not that we're going to need a counter anytime soon. But hey, if I've got a desk and a chair, then, why not get the important stuff out of the way first, I guess? Yeah. And is there anything in any of these other cargo... Are any of these other ones open? They don't look like it. No, and nothing else looks scannable. Ah, well. We do at least one Seaglide fragment. Is there anything in this one? Actually, yes, there is. Okay, so we can now make the Seaglide if we have enough materials. Let's head up to the surface and see what the materials are that we need for that. So back into our... blueprints. Does it tell us in here what Seaglide needs? Battery, lubricant, copper wire, and titanium. I've got most of those things. I'm just going to take a couple more acid mushroom. Be wary of those. If you get too close, they will release a sort of... well, let's just say I think they pee into the water and it's acidic. Okay, back to the escape pod. Okay, back in the escape pod, and what I was calling bloaters earlier in the episode, I don't know why, they were actually called bladderfish. It's been a couple of years. Leave me alone. So we can make water with them, more importantly. So disinfected water, we can do that with bleach, but however, we need bladderfish just to make water for the moment. And we can make a couple of those. You can see my water's running quite low. Did I pick up any other fish? I don't think I did. So we can just use these. Gives 20 H2O per bladderfish. So that's all looking nice and healthy again. Okay, now that we've got some copper, we can go and extract that. Titanium ingots. I want a battery. And then I also want a Seaglide. Okay.
Will increase your effective exploration range.
Yes, it will.
Safety, please pack supplies for long journeys and stay within 5 kilometers of the nearest life pod or habitat.
Yes, the downside with the Seaglide is that I think you remember rightly, it takes power. It also takes up a huge amount of inventory space, but it takes power, and that means you're going to need a supply of batteries. So do keep an eye out for lots and lots of copper. Let me just put some stuff away. Lots of titanium. In fact, too much titanium to even stow. Can we make the repair tool yet? Personal tools. Repair tool needs silicone. We should have enough for that actually. Let me just grab some silicone. Can I make the repair tool now? I can. Good. Okay, its power is 100%, so this also will need power. But it does mean we can repair the rest of our survival pod, hopefully. Yeah. Okay, and we'll get rid of the smoke, maybe? Okay. Damage radio. I guess we should repair that as well. Can we play a message? Okay, so we just need to wait 100,000 hours and we'll get some kind of rescue. No, I don't think we're going to wait that long. Let me just grab another one of these. That's probably just regenerated. Yep. And our life pod is now nice. We've got everything done for our first episode anyway. And the one good advantage of the life pod is that it does have sort of sustaining power. It gathers power from solar and then uses that to charge our internal batteries, so we don't have any problems with power with the fabricator. So we can continue from here. We can go and look at what other equipment we need. I don't think there's anything straight away that we need. We could do with a cutting tool. Is that something we don't have yet, though? No. Oh, laser cutter. Ingredients unknown. Okay, and we need a habitat builder, so I guess this is going to be a good point to break for the episodes. Let me just show you the Seaglide, though, because why not? Yep. There we go. So we can move around much faster. However, you will note after a little while, it does show you a little map of where we are. But after a little while, its power will start to drop. There we go. But it does mean we can get deeper down quite easily. And down here, we'll find more things. Like, is there anything inside this? Ah, oh, Seaglide fragment. Well, okay, we didn't need you then. Just keep an eye out for nasty creatures. Oh, wow. A big Leviathan kind of creature over there. What have we got over here? A bar table. Wow. This game just thinks I need furniture. I really, really don't need furniture, but a scanner rune fragment I will definitely take. There we go. We need 3 of those. Ah, let's just pick up metal salvage. Oops. I should change over. Let's not drown. And we can get to the surface much easier with the Seaglide anyway. So, that's the Seaglide in the first episode, which is the first sort of vehicle that you want. Next episode, we probably want to aim for maybe the mobile vehicle bay. It's sort of a floating unit, just like the escape pod. Depends whether I can get all the resources, but I need to do a hunt around now, and I'm probably going to make some lockers. You've seen the recipe in the fabricator, so there's no point in me showing those. You can just drop them underwater underneath the escape pod and stuff like that, and just stuff them full of stuff, rather than trying to use our escape pod. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think about Subnautica in the comments below, and I'm sure I'll be producing a few more other episodes on it. It's a pretty cool game, and it's more exploration based than complex automation into each other. Not quite sure what you guys think, but let me know. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.